Also tonight, the new video just released from New Mexico, a knee to the neck, and tonight charges of manslaughter. Here in Houston, many walking in the stifling heat to line up for hours, then filing past George Floyd's casket, mourners wearing masks. George Floyd was killed 2 weeks ago today, an officer with his knee on Floyd's neck for 8 minutes, 46 seconds. Former Vice President Joe Biden came to Houston today, the image of him with George Floyd's little girl, paying his respects to the Floyd family. And the family speaking just moments ago. Also tonight, the former officer now charged with second-degree murder, Derek Chauvin, wearing an orange jumpsuit for his first court appearance today. Prosecutors saying he kept his knee on Floyd's neck while he went limp and eventually lifeless. And the breaking headline as we come on the air tonight, the new video from New Mexico now. The officer with his knee on the neck of a man detained after a traffic stop. That officer tonight now charged with manslaughter, what we've just learned. The Minneapolis City Council voting to dismantle the police department. The mayor there shouted down for refusing to support calls to defund the police. Growing calls from demonstrators across the country to do the same. Joe Biden tonight saying he does not support that idea, nor does President Trump, who called members of law enforcement to the White House today. The disturbing case in Virginia tonight, the charges, the alleged member of the KKK who drove right into a protest. And in Seattle, the man who drove into demonstrators there and then allegedly shot someone as he got out of the car. On Capitol Hill tonight, Democratic members of Congress taking a knee for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Tonight, what they have now unveiled to try to reform policing. There are also major developments tonight in the coronavirus pandemic. New York City beginning to reopen, but at least 20 states tonight are now seeing increases in cases. And this evening, what researchers have discovered about China and the virus. Tonight, right here, you will see the satellite images. Do they suggest the virus was spreading far earlier than first thought? And the symptoms people in China were searching for online that match the virus. Those searches as early as October.
This is a special edition of World News Tonight with David Muir, reporting tonight from Houston.
And good evening tonight from Houston as we begin another week together and as a community says goodbye to a native son. George Floyd, who has become the face of a movement for justice and change in this country. Tonight here we talk with so many parents who brought children, to nurses who are also working in the middle of this pandemic, and still they thought it was important they come here today. And tonight, as we come on the new case, the new video released just a short time ago, a knee to the neck, and now an officer charged with manslaughter. George Floyd's casket escorted into the Fountain of Praise Church here in Houston today. Mourners passing by in single file, socially distancing. Among them, Texas Governor Greg Abbott, Houston's Mayor Sylvester Turner, the police chief, and members of the force, and many, many families, parents with small children, diverse ages, diverse backgrounds, waiting outside in the searing heat well into the 90s here. And former Vice President Joe Biden here in Houston to pay his respects to the image of him with George Floyd's little girl. All of this amid new developments as we come on the air. In Minneapolis, former police officer Derek Chauvin appearing before a judge to face murder charges. And now that new case I mentioned from New Mexico, an officer with his knee to a man's neck. Tonight, that officer has now been charged in his death. ABC's Alex Perez leads us off from Minneapolis.
Tonight, fired Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin facing murder charges, making his first appearance in court via video in an orange jumpsuit and blue face mask. The prosecutor laying out the second-degree murder case against Chauvin, saying he placed his knee on Floyd's neck for nearly 9 minutes as he went limp. The judge setting bail at $1.25 million. The three other officers, Toe Tao, J. Alexander King, and Thomas Lane, all charged with aiding and abetting Chauvin. Tonight, Lane's lawyer placing the blame on Chauvin, the veteran officer, saying Lane had only been on the job 4 days.
Was he afraid of Chauvin, your client?
He relied on his 20-year experienced officer. And that's why he didn't do anything. He thought that this man knew what he was doing. My client did exactly what he was supposed to do. Follow the experienced officer's advice.
Across the country, more officers accused of excessive force facing charges. In New Mexico today, a white police officer charged with involuntary manslaughter after using a neck restraint that prosecutors say led to the death of a Hispanic man back in February. In Fairfax, Virginia, A white officer arrested for assault after body camera video showed him using a stun gun on an unarmed black man, putting his knees on the man's back, the man yelling, "I can't breathe." All the officers involved now placed on administrative leave. Now, growing calls to defund or outright abolish police departments. Defunding meaning diverting some funds from police to other social programs. The controversial issue coming to a boiling point in Minneapolis, the city's mayor confronted by protesters at the site of Floyd's killing.
I know there needs to be deep-seated structural reform in terms of how the department operates. The systemically racist system needs to be revamped.
But the crowd pressing him for more answers.
We don't want no more police. It's that clear. We don't want people with guns toting around in our community, shooting us down. It is a yes or a no. Will you defund the Minneapolis Police Department?
I do not support the full abolition of police.
The Minneapolis City Council announcing it intends to dismantle the police department, calling it beyond reform. Just moments ago, the mayor announcing a new coalition to provide more economic inclusion for people of color to help the city move forward.
George Floyd moved to Minneapolis for a fresh start. In honoring his memory and generations of black people who have been victimized before him, we will rebuild as a stronger, more equitable, and more inclusive city.
Other cities also announcing plans to partially defund the police. New York City shifting NYPD funds to youth programs. LA cutting $150 million from its police budget.
And Alex Perez joins us again tonight from Minneapolis. And Alex, we know all 4 officers charged in Floyd's death remain behind bars tonight.
Yeah, David, they're all in custody. Chauvin faces up to 75 years behind bars, and those 3 other officers could face up to 50 years in prison. David?
Alex Perez leading us off on a Monday night. Alex, thank you. Meantime, here in Houston, the stirring images of so many people coming here to honor George Floyd. One mother driving 7 hours from Oklahoma City with her children. People seen walking in the heat toward the church and arriving by the busload. Among those paying their respects, as we mentioned earlier, former Vice President Joe Biden, who met for more than an hour with Floyd's family. ABC's Marcus Moore with us right here at the church tonight.
2 weeks after his death at the hands of police, an emotional farewell for George Floyd in his hometown of Houston. Mourners lining up early this morning to pay their respects, braving extreme Texas heat, but so many telling us they needed to be here.
This man whose death has changed the world, he's changed the world. You have to come. You know, you have to. I can't explain it.
Inside the church, social distancing. Just 15 people at a time in masks and gloves. For hours, thousands of people of all ages and backgrounds streaming past Floyd's open casket. Many here were strangers to Floyd and those next to them in this line. But today, people like Quinn Richardson and Don Murray are connected in their grief and hope for progress.
But when we see people like Mr. Don here, who said he had to be here too, it makes me proud to say something we're doing, making a lot of noise, we're showing up, and people like him are coming out.
Murray remembers arguing with his father about racism back in the 1950s. All of these decades later, an image of barriers broken.
Does this time that we're in right now feel any different than what you saw when you were younger?
Oh, yeah. I mean, this you never would have seen when I was young. Never.
The governor of Texas vowing to work for change with the Floyd family.
This is the most horrific tragedy I've ever personally observed. But George Floyd is going to change the arc of the future of the United States. George Floyd has not died in vain.
Vice President Joe Biden today meeting privately for more than an hour with Floyd's family, seen here with his daughter Gianna. A family attorney tweeting he listened, heard their pain, and shared in their woe. That compassion meant the world to this grieving family. George Floyd's family grateful for the outpouring of support tonight and proud of the man he was.
We are hurting as a family, and the George, we know he's a family man, great man. He stands for the definition of a man because we didn't have no father figure growing up.
In his old neighborhood, a lasting image by the strokes of an artist's brush, symbolizing Floyd's impact on the world, and one of Houston's sons who's finally home.
David, today we saw relatives of Eric Garner, Ahmaud Arbery, and Michael Brown, among others, a real show of solidarity as Floyd's family gets ready for another emotional day. Tomorrow, they will have a private funeral, and Floyd will be buried next to his mother. David.
Marcus Moore with us here in Houston tonight. Marcus, thank you. And as you heard from Marcus there, we will be carrying the funeral live tomorrow right here on ABC. I'll be anchoring with our team here around noon Eastern as George Floyd's hometown honors him and this movement for change. But we continue with the news this Monday night, and in Washington tonight, lawmakers know the pressure to act is growing. Democratic members of Congress taking a knee for 8 minutes and 46 seconds today before unveiling legislation to reform policing. And the fence put up outside the White House after peaceful protesters were moved out of the way last week for that photo op, that wall has instead now become a tribute to George Floyd and calls for racial justice in the U.S. Inside the White House, President Trump opposing efforts to defund, dismantle, or disband the police. Joe Biden today opposing defunding the police as well. Here's our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl.
Sensing a political opportunity in the growing protests around the country, the president pounced on activist calls to defund the police.
There won't be defunding, there won't be dismantling of our police, and there's not going to be any disbanding of our police. Our police have been letting us live in peace.
The president also said he's considering ideas for police reform, but he didn't mention specifics.
We're going to work and we're going to talk about ideas how we can do it better and how we can do it, if possible, in a much more gentle fashion.
His attorney general today acknowledged African-American distrust of the criminal justice system, but 24 hours ago, Bill Barr said he does not think there is systemic racism.
I think there's racism in the United States still, but I don't think that the law enforcement system is systemically racist.
Joe Biden has expressed solidarity with the protesters, but today his campaign made it clear he doesn't support calls for defunding either. Vice President Biden does not believe that police should be defunded, the campaign said in a written statement. House Democrats unveiled their own reform plan today, calling for, among other things, a ban on chokeholds, a national registry of police misconduct, and limiting immunity protections for police officers. One thing not in the Democratic proposal, anything to do with defunding the police.
Funding of police is a local matter, as you know. From the standpoint of our legislation, we're not going to that place.
Republican leaders have said they, too, support reforms, but they have not signed on to this bill. Senator Mitt Romney made a show of support for the protests over the weekend.
We need to stand up and say that Black Lives Matter.
So let's get to John at the White House. And John, of course, this all comes as a series of new polls show Joe Biden with a growing lead over President Trump. You have sources there at the White House, obviously. They're well aware of these numbers.
Oh, they sure are. The president himself says the polls are skewed, designed to dampen the enthusiasm of his supporters. And the campaign, the Trump campaign, says that the president will resume rallies in a couple of weeks. And they are predicting large crowds despite the continued COVID-19 threat. David.
John Karl starting another week at the White House for us. John, thank you. There are also major developments tonight in the coronavirus pandemic. A triumphant moment today, 100 days after the first case from the coronavirus. As many as 400,000 people returning to jobs in New York City, to construction, manufacturing, and limited retail jobs, getting free face masks and hand sanitizer at the subway entrances in the city. Governor Cuomo seen taking the train to his office near Grand Central. But cases are rising in nearly half of the country tonight, even before possible cases among protesters. And tonight here, an investigation now revealing that the virus may have struck China months before they let on. Tonight, right here, you will see the satellite images. You'll also see what the people of China were searching for online as early as October. Here's Tom Yamas.
Tonight, signs the threat from the coronavirus is not over. Cases on the rise in 20 states. 1,500 new cases, a record reported in Arizona on Friday, 2 weeks after reopening. Texas, open for more than a month, seen a steep increase in new patient admissions. Now, nearly 2,000 hospitalized. Deaths in this country surpassing 110,000. Kaiser Health News and The Guardian reporting nearly 600 of the victims were U.S. healthcare workers. And now, new evidence the virus may have been sweeping through Wuhan nearly 3 months before Chinese health officials told the world. These satellite photos show various Wuhan hospitals from October. Those red dots, cars packing the parking lots. This is Hubei Women and Children Hospital in October 2018. 393 cars. A year later, 714.
Satellite photos, mirror images. October 2018, October 2019, and you see the number of cars skyrocket.
So much greater, and greater than any other sort of time period that we had looked at.
At Tongji Medical Center, 112 cars in 2018 compared to 214 a year later, a 90% increase.
More cars into to a hospital, the hospital's busier, likely because maybe something's happening in the community, an infection is growing and people have to see a doctor.
Researchers say they can't prove this increased activity is due to COVID-19, but they also found internet searches in Wuhan for the terms diarrhea and cough spiking in October, 2 symptoms of the coronavirus. ABC spoke with multiple infectious disease experts who told us there is almost always a delay in identifying and then reporting an outbreak. China has adamantly maintained they reported the outbreak in a timely fashion.
And tonight, new important guidance from the WHO. They're now saying it is rare for asymptomatic patients carrying COVID-19 to spread the deadly disease. They say the focus should be on people showing symptoms to quarantine them and isolate their contacts. David?
Tom Llamas with us live in New York tonight. Tom, thank you. And when we come back on a Monday night, a hate crime investigation now underway involving the Virginia KKK tonight and a pickup right into a crowd. And another vehicle right into a group of demonstrators in Seattle in a moment.
If you have postmenopausal osteoporosis and a high risk for fracture, now might not be the best time to ask yourself, are my bones strong? Life's full of make or break moments. That's why it's so important to help reduce your risk of fracture with Prolia. Only Prolia is proven to help strengthen and protect bones from fracture with 1 shot every 6 months.
Do not take Prolia if you have low blood calcium, are pregnant, are allergic to it, or take Xgeva. Serious allergic reactions like low blood pressure, trouble breathing, throat tightness, face, lip, or tongue swelling, rash, itching, or hives have happened. Tell your doctor about dental problems, as severe jawbone problems may happen, or new or unusual pain in your hip, groin, or thigh, as unusual thigh bone fractures have occurred. Speak to your doctor before stopping, skipping, or delaying Prolia, as spine and other bone fractures have occurred. Prolia can cause serious side effects like low blood calcium, serious infections, which could need hospitalization, skin problems, and severe bone, joint, or muscle pain.
Are you ready? Ask your doctor how Prolia